Good evening and welcome to this year's 2022 Black Student Association Annual Award Ceremony. My name is Ariana Poindexter and I am honored to be your host once again for the event this evening. There's no doubt in my mind that you are going to be blown away by the impactful stories and successes of the students here at the Black Student Association at UTHSC. And this year's event is made especially important because it is the 30th anniversary of holding this event. And for 30 years, we've held this event highlighting the successes and impacts of students here at UTHSC. Let's get started. As an interdisciplinary organization founded in 1992 by African American students here at UTHSC, the Black Student Association embraces the vision to bridge the gaps among the various colleges to instill a sense of mutual support within the university community. And now, with 3 decades of commitment to service to the community, BSA continues to reach new heights. Tonight, the Black Student Association is hosting its 30th annual award ceremony for graduating students in the colleges of dentistry, graduate health sciences, health professions, medicine, nursing, and pharmacy. You'll get a chance to hear how these students are making an impact in their own communities. This celebration could not have been possible without all of you, and we want to take a moment to recognize some very special people. First, our presenting sponsor, the Office of the Executive Vice Chancellor. A huge thank you to Dr. Kennard Brown for his long-standing support of the BSA. Throughout this ceremony, you will also hear from UTHSC Chancellor Peter Buckley, the institution's Chief Diversity Officer, the Dean of each college, our keynote speaker, Dr. Neil Beckford, and most important, the honorees themselves. Tonight, we get a chance to take a journey through the lives of each awardee to learn how each of them have excelled both as a student and within the community. So let's not wait any longer and get right into it. We begin with honorees from the College of Dentistry, one of the earliest dental colleges established in the nation. The College of Dentistry was founded in 1878 and is the 3rd oldest public college of dentistry in the United States. Embracing the value of diversity in dental education, the College of Dentistry established a Moving Forward Committee in 2018. The committee is designed to enhance the recruitment and retention of underrepresented students, faculty, and staff in the College of Dentistry. The college believes that the work of the committee will support their mission to enable promising students a way to a future in dentistry or other health professions, and in doing so, improve healthcare for all. A graduate of Xavier University in New Orleans, Louisiana, Alexandria Dixon is a graduating student in the college's Doctor of Dental Surgery program. She is also an incredible leader, having held various leadership positions in the Black Student Association, including her current role as president of the organization. The College of Dentistry is also home to the Dental Hygiene Program, and BSA is thrilled to be able to also recognize Zakina Connor. Zakina finds value in mentoring and giving back to the community.
Hello, I'm J.S. Covington. I'm the Dean of Students for the College of Dentistry. One of the distinct pleasures and privileges of being a dean is to be able to recognize excellence, scholarship, community service, and just all-around goodness in our student body. The College of Dentistry proudly presents 2 of our students to receive the Black Student Association's Award for Academic Excellence and Community Service. First, from the Department of Dental Hygiene, we present Ms. Zakina Connor. Zakina is a native of Marks, Mississippi, attended Coahoma Community College in Clarksdale, and received her Associate of Arts degree in pre-dental hygiene. To prepare herself for the dental academic setting, she attended Delta Technical College and became certified in dental assisting. While a student at Delta Technical College, she demonstrated outstanding citizenship and professionalism, and thus earned the college title of Student Ambassador. As a member of the dental hygiene community at the University of Tennessee College of Dentistry, she mentors junior students and often volunteers to give back to our community via the Mid-South Mission of Mercy, Give Kids a Smile, Love Thy Neighbor, and remote area medical outreach programs. Her animating spirit and disciplined approach to learning make her particularly well loved by her peers and teachers alike. Her professional success is assured.
My name is Zakina Connor. I am a native of Marks, Mississippi, a small town in the Mississippi Delta. I am a dental hygiene student here at the University of Tennessee, College of Dentistry. I am a second-year dental hygiene student. A little about myself, I am a very cool, calm, and collective individual. I worked as a dental assistant for about 1.5 years before the pandemic, and I worked with a very, very close friend. She was a dental hygienist, and she inspired me to just see beyond just chair-siding with the dentist. She inspired me to go into more preventative services as a dental hygienist. And so once I worked with her for about 1 year, I wanted to go further, and so here I am now. Post-graduation, of course, is to find employment, find a place where I love working, where I love interacting with my patients and love the staff that I work with. So a challenge in my community was lack of access to medical care and even dental care. We recently just received a hospital, and we recently just received a grocery store. So my goal is to give back to my community. Giving back, I mean, as maybe even coming up with a dental health fair. Sometimes I feel like dental is left out. By that, I mean sometimes there are just medical health fairs and health fairs, mental health fairs, and dentistry is not included. So I would like to incorporate that. I know I have to just network with different individuals, different people, but I know you have to start somewhere. So I want to give back to my community by maybe sponsoring in the future a dental health fair, whether it is giving out toothbrushes, floss, pamphlets, anything that could educate our community about the importance of oral health. The importance for representation of Black students is that I would say we all have a chance. We all have a voice. We're all talented individuals who have a purpose in life.
The College of Dentistry also proudly presents student Dr. Alexandria Dixon for the Black Student Association's Award for Academic Excellence and Community Service, so that the entire campus can recognize her outstanding intellectual distinction and her abiding interest in the welfare of her fellow citizens. Alex is a native Memphian who came to us from Xavier University in New Orleans. In May 2018, she earned a Bachelor of Science degree majoring in biology and chemistry. She was an officer in Xavier's pre-dental organization and also a chemistry tutor. While at Xavier, she was inducted into the Beta 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 Biologic Honor Society, as well as the Alpha Epsilon Delta Pre-Health Career Honor Society. While in New Orleans, Alex began working on the area's Mission of Mercy dental clinics. Once on our campus, she continued volunteering for the Mid-South Mission of Mercy, as well as volunteering to work in the college's emergency clinic during breaks. In the life of the UTHSC campus, Alex is a student assistant in our Tennessee Institute for Pre-Professionals program. She serves as a liaison between the program participants and the faculty. Alex has served as a treasurer of our Student National Dental Association chapter for several years, and she also served as treasurer of our campus Black Student Association and is currently the group's president. After graduation, Alex will enter an advanced education in general dentistry residency at the University of Mississippi Medical Center in Jackson. We feel great things are in store for her, and we will miss her greatly. Congratulations and thank you to Zakina and Alex.
I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I went to White Station High School and then went to the illustrious Xavier University of Louisiana for undergrad. While there, I pledged the greatest sorority on God's green earth, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and then I came to dental school. I've always known that I wanted to work in the health professions. I just thought that medicine would be a little too heavy for me. I know that death is a part of life, but I just didn't think that it could be a part of my job. And then as a child, I had a peg lateral, And it would always bother me, even back in MySpace days. I would try to take pictures with my head turned so no one could see it. And then finally, like after years of begging my mom to let me get it fixed, we finally got it fixed when I was in the 8th grade. It was a crown, and if anybody that has gotten crowns or knows people that's gotten crowns, those are pretty expensive. But after begging for it, I finally got it, and it just changed my whole outlook on my smile. I was more confident, I smiled more. And even though the crown was a bit expensive, the beautiful smile and the confidence was priceless, and I knew I wanted to give that experience to other people. Post-graduation, I plan to take my talents down to Jackson, Mississippi, where I'll be participating in an advanced education and general dentistry residency. After that, I plan to practice dentistry in the corporate realm for a couple of years before transitioning into private practice. I think some of the main challenges is lack of knowledge, and then people that think they have that knowledge and spread it on social media. So what I hope to do to impact that is getting a group of other physicians, other clinicians, other dentists to participate in health fairs, to start healthcare organizations and initiatives in grade schools so we can spread good information, correct information to students that could, translate over to families and just spread that knowledge. Also, I think what I've also been seeing other current clinicians, dentists, physicians do, they form their own social media pages, and they're able to debunk some of those myths, some of those false teachings, and spread current and up-to-date information. Because I know for the field of dentistry, it's always changing with new technologies, new materials, new procedures. So getting on those social media platforms and having those Q&A sessions and being able to spread current information. I think the representation of Black students is very, very important. I think it really hits home for me when I'm in the clinic and I see Black patients and how excited they are to see me. And I receive all of that love and encouragement from them while I'm on the clinic floor. And then even it goes back to when I was applying for dental school. When I came to UT specifically for my interview, I was the only Black face in my interview group. So I was beginning to feel a little overwhelmed. I was feeling out of place, like I didn't belong. And then all of a sudden, these 3 angels came into our interview session. It was kind of in the ask the dean or like ask current students portion of the interview. And these 3 angels came into the session. One of them being Kayla, who was the recipient last year, Raven and Jasmine. They came in and I just had this overwhelming sense of just a sigh of relief, and I felt like I belonged. And I was able to, pull them to the side and ask them for the real tea, like, what is it really like for us here, being Black students, being Black female students at that. So seeing people that look like you in places where you want to be is very, very reassuring, and it gives you a sense of belonging, like you belong in those spaces, even if you aren't the majority in that space. First of all, I want to thank God. Without Him, none of this would be possible. I wouldn't be in the space that I am. I want to thank my village, my mom, my aunt, my boyfriend, my friends for giving me that love, giving me the encouragement and the support that I need while I'm matriculating through professional school, because it can be a very trying time for us. And then I want to thank the BSA for being my family for the last 4 years and just being that sense of fellowship that I needed while I was here at UT.
Preparing scientists for a changing world by improving human health through research, education, and outreach is the mission of the College of Graduate Health Sciences. Fun fact, this past summer, the college partnered with Shelby County Schools and the University of Memphis to host a free week-long science workshop for high school students. Graduate students and postdoctoral scholars from the College of Graduate Health Sciences provided laboratory assistance for this special initiative, and the college provided all lab materials. Student participants had the opportunity to conduct classroom experiments in different areas of genetic engineering, including DNA sequencing, collecting and analyzing real data, and discussing the ethical complexities of human genomics research and medicine. This year's honoree from the College of Graduate Health Science is Chidi Zacchaeus, who is pursuing a PhD in biology and immunology. He hopes to make Memphis a hub for business development.
Hello, I'm Dr. Donald Thomason, Dean of the College of Graduate Health Sciences. It is an honor and a pleasure to congratulate Mr. Chidi Zacchaeus as the College of Graduate Health Sciences Black Student Association awardee. The energy that Chidi infuses into his colleagues, faculty, and staff is truly inspirational. In addition to his research, Mr. Zacchaeus' leadership is exceptional and has contributed greatly to our community. He has led the Graduate Student Executive Council as president, served as executive director of the Memphis Sci-Preneur Challenge, and led weekly discussions about and is actively engaged in issues of social justice, to name just a few. All of these have been an unselfish commitment to improving our community. The college is proud to have Chidi as a colleague, and we look forward to his continued scholarship and leadership. Congratulations, Chidi.
Well, I'm from Nigeria, which is in West Africa. I've been here for about 18 years now. Interesting thing about me, I would say I am obsessed with cashew. The fruits, not the nuts. You guys are aware of the nuts. We are more about the fruits, and so I miss it daily. Another interesting thing about me is that I'm a highly curious individual. I just like to learn everything, anything, whatever it is. I just love learning. There's a bunch of other interesting things about me, but I think that would take maybe a day, 2 a week, or a year to go through. So perhaps that's it for now. Growing up, I've always been business, and it wasn't until I lost the fourth member of my family that sparked this need to know, need to understand what is happening. And once you understand what's happening, perhaps you could address it, fix it. And that kind of put me in a sphere where I wanted to do something about the healthcare system that was inadequate, both in my country and, as a lot of you would know, everywhere. So that's kind of that's pushed me into putting business on the side and going into science on a curiosity journey, just to understand the body, to understand natural science and how things work. And I believe only until I understand how things work would I be able to identify what went wrong and also come up with a creative solution to address it. And since going in there, it's just been a whole universe of unknown that's quite beautiful. And I've just been hooked to it. I'm still business in nature, but the science has also become part of me now. Post-graduation, my plans. I don't see any particular thing that I want to do. My main focus is to acquire talents and skills that help me become more creative and productive, efficient in the solutions that I come up with in the future. So perhaps I could be fine to teach in a high school, and that would give me skills about teaching. I could start a company, and that would give me another skills and experience that I otherwise did not have. It's more of following the opportunity where it comes in, and I've been lucky enough to develop a lot of skills that is applicable in many industries, and I'm willing to utilize all those skills and see how they connect together in whatever space I go into. But ultimately, I see myself working in healthcare, in education field, and likely going back to my roots of agriculture, healthy diets and things as such, and bridging those three together sometime in the future. But before then, I think after graduation, I would likely still continue in research field, but my other focus will likely spare into hospitals and community development, since that's become part of me ever since I was growing up. Challenges for the industry. Well, I think in a broader industry, healthcare industry in general, there is, in my observation, I felt that there is too many specialization and ego that prevents people from understanding that everything is connected. And once we understand that everything is connected, truly connected, we are able to see that you can't fix one thing without participation of the other. You can't cure one disease without understanding that your whole body is influencing that disease. So coming from a holistic, comprehensive perspective, and I think there's a trend called individualized medicine or personalized medicine. I think that's a great deal because we are highly variable individuals and unique. So we we are not yet in a space where we stop compiling everyone and treating everyone the same. And I think when the industry comes to see that to truly have a healthy healthcare system that heals people, we need to prioritize the healing part of it than the monetary part of it. And also the challenges I stated earlier in seeing that everything is connected. And I think once we do that, we're able to come up with creative solution, but I'm afraid that it's a long shot from now, given where we are. In my experiences working as being the president of the Graduate Student Executive Council, and being part of other government leadership, and as well as being the executive director for other programs, I had a front view about how decisions are made. And it's really critical that everyone that decision impacts is there in the first place to create the solution. So if you are a male coming up with a solution that caters to everybody, well, that solution might not work for females or work for other groups of individuals. So it's really important that you have everybody in the same table to think about this solution to address health of everybody. In the same way, in any organization, any university, any institutions, it's important to have those groups in that table so they can give you input about how your solutions may not work for that group, because we are different and we need to accept that we are different and understand that things that might work here may not work there. And those who have the experience of being in that space, experience of being Black, experience of going through the system, would be able to come up with better solutions or more insightful solutions. And not having that representation is a disservice to the issue at hand. It's a disservice to what we are trying to achieve. So I think it's very critical from a decision-making perspective. And it's also critical from people who go into medicine or healthcare or any field and see people like them, being doctors, nurse, dentists, you name it. And that sort of is a motivating factor to see that people like me as a doctor, people like me as a scientist, people like me are innovators and creators. And it elicits this thinking in your head that causes your system of thinking to start piecing out possibilities that could come forward. So there's many ways, rational ways, that having representative groups can be helpful in the entire society and system. But I think the first phase is to accept individuals as who they are, and then see them for their differences, and then whatever solution you come up with, you have to have them in the table at each stage of the ladder. I'd like to say thank you to my dean for nominating me for this award. I also like to thank the Black Student Association for its relentless efforts to speak on behalf of the Black students on this campus. I appreciate the new social justice initiative that UT is taking on its shoulder, and I believe that the presence of UT in Memphis is for a reason, and we can utilize these resources to do greater things in the community at large. I'm hoping that in the future we would truly come to see the problem that affects us as a collective problem. And once we begin to see it as a collective problem, we can come together to find solutions. In the meantime, I am hoping that all goes well with COVID and everyone stays safe. And beside that, I am grateful for this opportunity, and until next time.
Tedrin Elion, an occupational therapy student, is the 2022 recipient of the BSA Award from the College of Health Professions. With campuses located in Memphis and Knoxville, the College of Health Professions serves as an administrative base for a variety of allied health programs. The college is composed of the departments of audiology and speech pathology, diagnostic and health sciences, occupational therapy, and physical therapy, and is home to a community of academic leaders who believe that interdisciplinary, diverse, and inclusive education and research are all critical to the success of health professions in an ever-changing society. Tedrin says that the choice to pursue a career as an occupational therapist was a personal one, as he wants to help others overcome disabilities just as he has done many times himself.
Good evening. I am Stephen Allway, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Dean of the College of Health Professions. Thank you for coming and sharing the excitement and the joy of today's celebration. We are blessed to have over 600 students enrolled in our various programs in our college. Of all of our students, Tedrin Ilian has risen to be an example to our college, his peers, and his profession. So today, the College of Health Professions is honoring Tedrin Ilian for the 2022 Black Student Association Award. I had the distinct pleasure of sitting down with our nominee, Tedrin Ilian, to learn a little bit more about him and his goals. Tedrin is a third-year occupational therapy student who is currently finishing his final clinical rotation, and he will graduate in May. Throughout his training, Tedrin has demonstrated academic excellence, professionalism, and a true commitment to the community in which he lives and serves. We are blessed to have him as part of our college, and I know that he will be a blessing to many others throughout his career. Congratulations, Tedrin, on the well-deserved honor for receiving the Black Student Association Award from the College of Health Professions.
Hey, my name is Tedrin and I am from Memphis. I go here at UTHSC in the occupational therapy program. A little bit about me is I am about everything that's from Memphis. So I really love the city of Memphis. Another thing about me is I was born with bilateral thumb hypoplasia, which kind of sparked my interest in the occupational therapy program here at UT. Post-graduation, I hope to get a job in a specialty field of hand therapy, since it's something that really resonates with me. So that way I can get out and get more experience in the world of hands and see where it goes from there. One of the biggest challenges in occupational therapy is diversity. There's not a lot of Black male OTs that are out there practicing, so that is a really big challenge, and I feel like I've already kind of swayed that because I decided to go and become an OT. So that's one of the biggest challenges in how I've impacted it so far. So in the future, I hope to encourage other young Black, individuals to pursue the field of occupational therapy so that they know that they can do it too. So as a Black student, I feel like it's important to have that representation, like I said, for undergrad students who are looking to get into different fields. A lot of people think that there's just PT out there, but there's actually occupational therapy and speech therapy out there as well. So them seeing another, Black male that's going through the field of OT, I think that's important for them to see that. So just putting myself in spaces where I can reach out to other people like me to encourage them to join the field. My main special interest is hand therapy, but other than that, I want people to really seek out and look up things about what occupational therapy is and the impact that they've had on, or we've had on, our clients and patients, because a lot of people don't really know what OT is. So aside from me making a difference as far as diversity, I encourage people to actually seek out and understand what occupational therapy is. It's about making people functional regardless of what barriers they face in their everyday lives, whether that be with their mental health, their physical abilities, or even their supports from family members and things like that. So I just encourage people to really seek out and understand what occupational therapy is as a whole, and understanding that by bringing different ethnicities to the practice, how it encourages occupation and people to be more functional in their everyday lives.
With a statewide presence in campuses in Chattanooga, Knoxville, Memphis, and Nashville, the College of Medicine aims to improve the health of Tennesseans and our society as a whole by providing an exceptional and nurturing environment for the education of students and physicians, by contributing to advances in medical science, and by providing health services of the highest quality. Recently, the College of Medicine opened a UTHSC Health Hub. The Health Hub is a neighborhood-based approach to improving health status and outcomes and understanding in underserved areas in the community. College leaders say that the UTHSC Health Hub in Uptown is the first in what is hoped to be a series of locations established by the college under its Equitable Health in Neighborhoods initiative to provide a convenient entry point to primary care in underserved areas of Memphis and Shelby County. Having distinguished herself of academic performance and community service, Alexis Reyes is this year's BSA award recipient from the College of Medicine. Alexis is a fourth-year Doctor of Medicine student who has received recognition by her peers and faculty for exemplary demonstration of humanistic characteristics.
Good evening. I'm Scott Strum, Executive Dean of the College of Medicine and Vice Chancellor for Clinical Affairs at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the entire College of Medicine to congratulate Ms. Alexis Reyes in being recognized for her achievements and engagements in academics in our community. As a College of Medicine student, Ms. Reyes' peers and faculty nominated her for the HAND Scholarship. HAND Scholars recognize the role of the healer in relieving anxiety by exhibiting a sense of caring, empathy, understanding, and effective communication. They have sensitivity to social and cultural needs and provide compassionate care. Ms. Reyes was selected for this honor based on her embodiment of the humanistic characteristics that have historically been associated with the art of medicine. Ms. Reyes also engages with our community in serving on the executive board for the Council for International and Area Outreach, CIAO. CIAO's mission is to promote awareness of global and local healthcare disparities. CIAO facilitates opportunities for students to participate in service and education abroad. It supports other student organizations in their efforts to engage in public service. This year, CIAO held the third annual Health Disparities Symposium for the education of students and medical professionals on global and social determinants of health. Thank you, Ms. Reyes and the board of CIAO. Ms. Reyes' service does not stop there, as she also volunteers for the Wellness and Stress Clinic, which provides supervised primary health care to our underserved patient population. She is the community outreach assistant who aids community co-leaders in the operation of the clinic by coordinating student volunteer participation. She was also selected by her peers on the Medical School Executive Council to serve on the College of Medicine Committee on Admissions and to serve as one of the professionalism representatives for the class of 2022. We are incredibly fortunate to have Ms. Reyes in our medical school class, and we will look forward to the amazing things she will do in residency and beyond. Congratulations, Alexis, on being honored here at the Black Student Association Awards ceremony. It is well deserved, and the best is yet to come.
Well, my name is Alexis Reyes to begin with. So I grew up in Mississippi, a small rural town with both of my grandparents until I was the age of 6, while my mom finished her college education. And that's really where my motivation for medicine started. Just seeing my grandparents grow up as a young child, not really understanding what they were going through as health-wise, but seeing it nonetheless, and kind of connecting that when I got older, and seeing just, especially with my grandfather, being a Vietnam War veteran and dealing with the VA in Mississippi and kind of the discrimination and things that go on. Just seeing him go through that and kind of not understanding as a child what he was going through, but then getting to college and going through my major, which I created myself to kind of address those issues and kind of put a language to what I was feeling when I was younger. especially when you consider health disparities and things of that nature, and just social determinants of health. And finally having a language through the major I created, biology, anthropology, and sociology together, to really put words to what I was feeling and to see that I could address these things. Like this is not something that had to be, like it could be changed. Going through high school, I also saw some things. So just a little background, when 1st through 8th grade, I went to an all-Black school. So the only teachers that I had that were white were like my CLU teacher, which was like this class for like advanced learners or whatever in middle school, and my history teacher. Those are the only white influences I had growing up, from 6 years old till 13, I guess. And so when I went to high school, it was kind of a pipeline. The middle school I went to was J.P. Freeman optional school, close to Whitehaven area. And when I left there, most people went to Whitehaven. And I was like, no, Mom, and my mom told me when I was older, this is very precocious of me, but I was like, no, Mom, I don't want to go to another all-Black school, not because I didn't appreciate what that foundation gave me, but I knew the world that I was going into would not be catered to people who look like me. So I wanted to have exposure to that environment and know how to navigate it. So I ended up going to DeSoto Central High School, which was predominantly white. When I got there, it was a total culture shock. I feel like from 1st through 8th grade, I was told I can do anything I want, I can be anything I want. And then you really, it's not like somebody's telling you can't be that thing. When you're in a predominantly white environment, it's just kind of understood. And so to be in an environment where that was a true deficit, it was really hard for me to find my place and to find my voice, until I got to Rhodes College, which was also another very predominantly white environment, but it allowed for a, depth of thinking that I was not able to get before. And that's kind of what, all of those experiences applied to medicine is what shaped my path to medicine. So I applied med peds. So that's another journey within itself. I came into medical school wanting to do just strictly pediatrics because that's the population exposure I had got prior to medical school for the most part, especially in high school when I did some volunteering with kids with autism and things like that. But I think COVID, in a sense, was kind of a blessing because it opened my perspective on what I wanted to do and what I was interested in. And that, I say that because internal medicine was my very first rotation 3rd year, but because of COVID, we were pushed back a month. And so I only got to do half of the rotation at the beginning of the year. And then I had to do the other half at the end of my 3rd year. And anybody will tell you who's in medical school that the beginning of your 3rd year and who you are as a clinician is completely different by the end of your 3rd year, because then you feel more confident, you're more objectively able to survey the department that you're in and the specialty you're in, instead of just kind of flying by the seat of your pants and having no idea what you're doing. So that was the comparison I got. So I took the internal medicine when I was oh, I'm just trying to get my feet under me. And then I took internal medicine when I was hey, I'm, going towards being a clinician. I feel more confident. I know what I'm looking for when it comes to what I want to do following medical school. And so that's when I added the medicine to the peds. And I figured and also just hearkening back to my grandparents and seeing the things that they dealt with, I did not want to let go of that population. So I knew I had to have the pediatric population as well as the middle adult, mid-level adult, and older adult population. I think I'm just going to talk about medicine in general. And it's really weird that you're asking this question right now because I'm in Jerry Paley. And that's geriatrics, palliative care. And one of the questions I've been asking myself, as we go over the readings that we're required to read, is what would medicine look like if we as physicians focused on quality of life more than we do on longevity of life. If we focus more on that, I feel like we would be better mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and I feel like our patients would be better. When you talk about representation, if you don't see what you can do, how can you do the thing, you know? Because if you're constantly surrounded by people who don't look like you doing a thing, then that makes you believe in your head, hey, maybe my people, the people who look like me, can't do that thing. But once you see somebody who looks like you do it, you're like, okay, this opens up the, I guess, amount of things that I can be, who I can be when I grow up. And I guess I always go back to like my favorite quote from W.E.B. Du Bois in his book, The Soul of Black Folk, and it's like one ever feels his two-ness in America, like as a Black person. And it's how you see yourself, but also how everybody else sees you. And only a person who shares that lived experience can really understand that two-ness, and that those two voices in your head always, one that says, hey, this is how you see you, and one that has to always think about how everybody else sees you. Just to everyone who looks like me, trying to pursue this field, or any person of color, really, it's just, that doesn't matter. You can be the first.
UTHSC Nursing, a legacy of leadership, a career for life. This is the motto of the College of Nursing, and with an outstanding national reputation earned over more than a century, the college traces its history to 1898. In fact, it was the first College of Nursing in the state of Tennessee. Earlier this year, the college announced a new partnership with Southwest Tennessee Community College to guarantee admission to UTHSC's nursing program for Southwest students who meet certain requirements. Well, the program will be offered to graduates of Medical District High School, which recently opened on the Union Avenue campus of Southwest. Through its partnership enrollment program, the College of Nursing also has partnerships with other colleges and universities, including Lemoyne-Owen College at HBCU right here in Memphis. No stranger to making connections in the community, Latoria Boyland is the 2022 recipient of the BSA Award. Latoria will graduate in May with a Doctor of Nursing practice degree in the Psychiatric Mental Health concentration. She recently started Tori Talks LLC, an organization promoting mental health awareness.
Hello, I'm Dr. Bobby Bellflower, Professor and Director of the Doctor of Nursing Practice Program in the College of Nursing. I'd like to offer my sincere congratulations to Latoria Boyland, a student in our Doctor of Nursing Practice Program, for this recognition by the Black Students Association. The College of Nursing is so proud of Tori for her commitment to advancing mental health and to educating people about mental illness. As a psychiatric nurse at Lakeside Behavioral Health System, Tori truly has a heart for people experiencing mental illness and homelessness. Her passion for this issue has already resulted in a significant positive impact on the community. Her organization, Tori Talks, airs weekly segments on Facebook Live that help remove the stigma around mental health issues. Her organization also has reached out to the community through service, including a community day of service to the Memphis Police Department, where they served and educated more than 600 men and women. They also have served meals to the men of the Memphis Union Mission. Tori is a wonderful example of living out her commitment to others, especially the most vulnerable in our community. Congratulations, Tori. So well deserved.
My name is Latoria Boyland. I am originally from West Memphis, Arkansas. I currently live in Memphis, Tennessee. I am married with children. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, a bachelor's degree in nursing, a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling, and I'll be graduating this May with my doctorate. And I love to serve in my church. I love to serve in the community, and I am a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I was a mental health counselor before, and I always knew that I wanted to serve in some capacity. and I did a rotation at a local hospital here in Memphis on a psychiatric ward, and was introduced to to a different area of providing care, and that is on the nursing side. So I was able to watch nurses serving the mental health population, and I just felt like in that role as a nurse, I could do a lot more, make a bigger impact versus a counseling track. So post-graduation, I am going to implement self-care. Again, we always are encouraging our patients to implement self-care, so I'm going to do that first. And after that, I am going to really go to work in the community, serving as an advocate, specifically for underserved populations. And also, I am going to be working in an inpatient setting in the hospital, and also telehealth. Yes, some of the challenges that I've seen is a lack of resources, a lack of education, and a lack of trust. And I think that because there is a lack of resources and it's evident that there is, it basically yields a lack of trust. And so I want to actually be a huge impact in terms of providing those resources, educating the underserved community on what's available to them, so that they're more likely to trust healthcare professionals and seek the appropriate care. When you have younger kids who see someone that looks like them thriving and serving within the community, it gives them a sense of hope. It gives them a sense of power, essentially, because it's almost invigorating, because I used to be that kid who was looking at others thrive that looked like me. And so providing the example and exemplifying what it means to serve and what it means to care for others gives them, the belief that they can do absolutely anything that they want to do. So I would like to thank, of course, first and foremost, God for providing everything that has been provided. I'm very blessed to have the journey that I've been on. My family, of course, for their support. They are right there with me every day. And several professors at UT who have been my support system, both academically and personally, as well as professionally. So thank them as well. And just my friends who have also been a huge support. I'm very blessed to have a phenomenal support system, and basically anything that I need, they are there. So definitely grateful for having my village around me through this journey.
Advancing excellence in pharmacy education, practice, and research for more than a century, the College of Pharmacy continues to be Tennessee's highest-ranked college of pharmacy. UTHSC's College of Pharmacy holds equity, inclusivity, and diversity as its core values, with 3 strategic goals. First, to recruit, retain, and promote diverse faculty and staff. Second, to create an infrastructure that drives diversity, equity, and inclusion. And finally, to promote diversity awareness in all forms. Amelia Thompson, a graduating student in the College of Pharmacy, is being recognized for her leadership, professionalism, and commitment to serving others. She's a graduate of Alcorn State University and has served as president of the UTHSC chapter of the Student National Pharmacy Association.
Hello, I'm Dr. Marie Chisholm Burns, Dean of the College of Pharmacy. Our Black Student Association Award recipient is Miss Amelia Thompson. Amelia has shown excellence in her academic work, professionalism, and commitment to serving her community. She held the leadership position of president in one of our college organizations, the Student National Pharmaceutical Association, better known as SNAPA, and she currently serves as the executive chairman and immediate past president for SNAPA. Amelia is not afraid to dream big and to go after those big ideas. Her creativity and engaging personality inspire others to perform to their full potential. For example, as president-elect, she planned the Taste of Culture, a celebration of culture through food to highlight the diversity within the chapter, which kicked off the semester by creating friendships and keeping the chapter's membership engaged. Amelia's theme for her SNAFA presidential year was ICE, ICE. ICE stands for Innovate, Cultivate, and Elevate. She helped to unify the chapter through leveraging relationships with leaders across the state and building the infrastructure for consistent policies and procedures to facilitate better communication across all 3 campuses. While serving as SNAFA president, Amelia also played a very important role in the chapter being recognized as a national finalist for Chapter of the Year, as she oversaw more than 200 service events across all of our 3 campuses at the college. She also spearheaded membership efforts for recruitment and retention, resulting in the chapter winning the overall Chapter of the Year award and the Chauncey I. Cooper Excellence Award for the large Chapter of the Year during the SNAFA National Convention. Now, these are prestigious accomplishments, and I know Amelia worked very hard to drive the chapter to excel. Amelia's dedication to community service is further evidenced by her participation in many service events throughout the Memphis area, including volunteering for mustard seed tutoring, flu shot clinics, providing vital screenings at numerous health fairs in our area, and most recently, participating in administering the COVID-19 vaccine. I am so very proud of Amelia and the way she represents our college and the profession of pharmacy. Congratulations, Amelia, on this well-deserved award.
My name is Amelia Thompson. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm a 4th-year pharmacy student in the College of Pharmacy at UT. I am the oldest of 2 kids. I have a little brother named Eric. I have 2 cats, Lola and Noelle. And in my free time, I like to take naps. I don't have a lot of free time, so I just take naps. So pharmacy was not my original plan. My original plan was to be an OBGYN, but then as I learned more about like med school, didn't want to do that. And I thought about getting my PhD like my mom, but I hate the lab. So then my pharmacist cousin told me that I should try it. I could be a pharmacy tech, see if I liked it. And I got a job at Kroger, fell head over heels. I loved it. So I just knew from then on, I was a sophomore in college when that happened, that I wanted to be a pharmacist. Currently, I don't have anything like set in stone, but my ultimate career goal is to be a medical science liaison. One of the biggest challenges in my industry is that, like, education. People in the general population just don't know what a pharmacist does. And if they do know, they think that it's like limited to your community pharmacist at Walgreens or Kroger or whatever. So I hope to kind of like be a beacon of education, to educate the public on all the things that a pharmacist can do. And then I think another problem is like underrepresentation. There are not a lot of people of color in this industry, and I think there should be, considering health outcomes tend to lean negatively towards people of color. So I just hope to educate more young Black men and women about this profession, and then hopefully recruit some, because we need more Black pharmacists everywhere. Another thing that people don't necessarily take into account when you're pursuing a career like this is the toll that it takes on you mentally, physically, emotionally. So I just want to give a huge shout out to my village, my parents, my boyfriend, my friends that are in pharmacy school, outside of pharmacy school, my cats for just being there for me. I genuinely could not have done this without you guys. And when I walk across that stage in May, honestly, it's not just me, like all of you helped me get here, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Each year, I am blown away by the caliber of students recognized through this important event here at UTHSC, and I know their peers, family, and their faculty could not be more proud of all they will accomplish. Switching gears, I am equally excited to present to you the keynote speaker for the evening. It is an honor to have joining us someone who has an incredible journey to Memphis and an extensive track record of service in the community. Dr. Neil Beckford is board certified in otolaryngology, head and neck surgery, and practices general otolaryngology, specializing in head and neck surgery with an emphasis in the surgical treatment of thyroid and parathyroid disorders. He earned a bachelor's degree in biology at The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. Dr. Beckford attended medical school and completed a surgical internship at Howard University in Washington, D.C. After medical school, he completed residency at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine in otolaryngology, head and neck surgery. Dr. Beckford has been part of the Department of Otolaryngology in the College of Medicine at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center as full-time or clinical faculty for more than 35 years. He served as president of the Bluff City Medical Society from 1999 to 2000 and is also on the board of trusts for Opera Memphis and the board of directors for the Memphis and Shelby County Medical Society. Dr. Beckford is a proud member of the American Medical Association, the American Academy of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, the Association of Otolaryngology Administrators, and several other professional societies and organizations. Dr. Beckford is married with 3 adult children. In his spare time, he enjoys music, cycling, exercising, and spending time with his family.
Good evening. My name is Neil Beckford, and I'm an associate professor of otolaryngology, head and neck surgery here at the University of Tennessee. I've been practicing in this community for over 35 years and am honored to be here for the milestone year for the Black Students Association. Thank you for inviting me. I'd like to congratulate all of you for the time, energy, and effort that you've spent in pursuit of your careers in the healing arts. This is a very unique time as we are in the midst of a COVID pandemic with all of the health, social, and political ramifications that have presented themselves. A time when disparities and inequities in healthcare with which we are already familiar have been exacerbated. I'm hoping that in my message today that something can apply to you and your unique and personal journey as you continue to work hard in training to pursue your dreams. In a short time that we have, I want to talk with you about a few key points regarding that path forward. My lovely wife of 37 years had a nickname growing up. Why, how come? That was it. That was her nickname. Why, how come? She was given that because her response to virtually any statement was why, how come? She always asked questions, was inquisitive, always wanted to know. Believe me, this is still the case today. As budding physicians, curiosity, being inquisitive, seeking knowledge and explanation is a key to learning. Life issues are sometimes blatantly obvious and require really no explanation or thought. On the other hand, they are sometimes murky and enigmatic, devoid of any rhyme or reason. These issues can find that you are beside yourself, unable to comprehend the why and how come, causing fear, depression, and despair. On occasion, finding those truths and solutions requires real introspection and examination of self to identify the root cause of your particular angst and grief. For me, when I was in school, time management and setting priorities was a vexation upon my spirit. Tutoring, pledging, student government, partying, and helping those who seemed to be worse off than I all pulled me away from my core obligation, which were to studying and learning the material that I needed to learn. I always wondered why I would be pulling out my hair, staying up all night, overdosing on caffeine and no-dos, and stressing to get very good grades. On the other hand, some of my classmates went to class, took good notes, went home, studied on a schedule, got regular sleep, and came to class refreshed. Typically, they had comfortably learned and reviewed all the materials before the exam, came to the test well-rested, and got great grades. I had to reassess my whole approach to studying, prioritizing the things that were important, like schedules, studying, and sleep, and defer or reduce the other activities that were important to me and fun, but took a much lower priority. Now, historically, the medical meritocracy has often been an illusion and pipe dream for minority physicians. Commissioned by the AMA, the Flexner Report in 1910 radically changed medical education in this country. Heretofore, medical schools had no standardization, were often run by physicians as a means to generate revenue, training physicians with little pre-medical preparation to go out in the world and treat the people. A university/hospital model was proposed by this report that employed a rigorous scientific method, requiring at least 2 years of college education as a prerequisite and providing clinical training in a hospital setting. It was so radical for those times that it resulted in the closure of over 60% of all medical schools in the United States. The report also had a whole section on the Negro physician, stating that Black physicians should only treat Black patients and play a role subservient to white physicians. This study, this Flexner Report, has formed the foundation for medical education as we know it today. In 1949, the American Medical Association petitioned the AMA and the AAMC to open all medical schools to all, regardless of race, religion, or ancestry. The AAMC responded that we do not interfere with the admission policies of our medical schools. It was not until 1969, in response to the monumental civil rights legislation of the 60s, that the AAMC formally endorsed diversity amongst all of its medical schools. Even though an Office of Diversity was established at that time, it lay fallow, operating in name only with virtually no activity until almost 40 years later, when in 2007, the AAMC began to address these past wrongs in earnest. These long-standing biases are deeply rooted within our healthcare community, but change is occurring, albeit slowly. Now, I'm sure that all of you have heard that as minorities, we have to be twice as good to succeed in this meritocracy. Work twice as hard, be twice as prepared, show twice the dedication in order to gain the respect and credibility from those who don't look like us, but play a large role in determining our future. As a graduate of Howard University, many of my professors had to earn advanced degrees, master's or PhDs, in order to be considered worthy enough to matriculate at a majority medical school. And even then, when your credentials were twice as good, you were scrutinized twice as hard, doubted twice as often, and experienced the implicit and explicit biases that oftentimes made the whole experience almost unbearable. However, there is some light that we, in this George Floyd moment, there is a heightened awareness about these issues and an earnest commitment for substantive change from some groups and individuals. Unfortunately, the fires of divisiveness, bias, and bigotry are being stoked as well by those committed to keeping the status quo. So, how do we best address these issues that routinely present themselves? For example, well, if you're preparing for an exam and your majority of your colleagues know the material backwards and forwards, you need to know it backwards, forwards, and inside out. If you're on your clinical rotations and your colleagues get there at 6 o'clock to prepare for rounds, you may need to get there 30 to 45 minutes earlier, making sure that you know everything that there is to know for you to present. If you're participating in a surgical procedure, you need to know the anatomy, the physiology, the pathology, the clinical manifestations of the disease, the technical points of the procedure, and all things pertinent to that patient's care to the best of your ability. Realize too, that if mistakes are made by your team, you may be the initial focal point of the ire of your attendings and residents. But if all those efforts seem not to satisfy those evaluating you, if your performance is judged to be substandard or inadequate, first, one needs to look inside oneself and ask, why? How come? Oftentimes, looking at yourself, being introspective, is the most difficult why and how come. If you're honest with yourself, truly honest, it may be that you have done everything possible and that the system really is against you. On the other hand, other shortcomings within may become more apparent if you dig very deeply inside yourself. As physicians, we are proud by nature and may not be willing to accept that we may have done something wrong or could have done something a bit better. Over the years, I've seen a number of professionals whose pride mitigated against honest introspection and reflection. As a member of the State Medical Licensing Board for over 15 years, I've seen physicians look outwardly to explain their problems and to why they are being sanctioned by this board. Sanctioned for multiple malpractice issues, or sanctioned for overprescribing narcotics, or even having sex with patients, when they should really look deeply into themselves for the root of their problems. It is easy to blame institutional biases, bigotry, and racism for the problems that you will encounter in your career. And in perfect honesty, they very well may be a part or the whole entirety of your problem. However, you have to make sure that you have done everything that you can do, everything that you should do before you can start to entertain those other thoughts. That level of introspection can be very difficult and sometimes requires assistance from family, friends, colleagues, and mentors, and oftentimes causes some very sleepless nights. But when you ask why and how come, in earnest, the valid answer will help you to get to the crux of your problem and allow you to entertain the solutions that facilitate resolution, allowing you to fulfill your dreams with pride and dignity. God bless you all, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Beckford, for such an insightful speech. The Office of Inclusion, Equity, and Diversity supports the mission and strategic plan of UTHSC through efforts that cultivate a welcoming and inclusive learning and working environment, enabling everyone to thrive. This institutional office is led by Dr. Michael Alston, who serves as Associate Vice Chancellor and Chief Diversity Officer. We turn now to Dr. Alston for a special message of congratulations from OIED.
Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Alston, Associate Vice Chancellor and Chief Diversity Officer in the Office of Inclusion, Equity, and Diversity. Over the last 30 years, the Black Student Association, BSA, has been a strong and valued presence at UTHSC with no intent to concede its mission. The BSA inspires academic excellence, promotes positive images, and helps our students become members of the community. I am honored to have the opportunity to acknowledge the importance of the BSA as well as pledge continued support of its existence at UTHSC. Congratulations to all of the 2022 honorees.
Now we'd like to welcome Dr. Kennard Brown, who serves as the Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operations Officer for UTHSC. The Office of the Executive Vice Chancellor is tonight's presenting sponsor, so we are excited to welcome him now to share in this special celebration of African American student success.
Good evening. I'm Kennard Brown, Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operations Officer at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. It's with great privilege that I take this opportunity to acknowledge our award recipients this evening. An incredible legacy has been set by your predecessors, and now you take that step to creating a pathway for your successors. On behalf of the University of Tennessee Health Science Center, again, it's my great privilege to acknowledge you for your accomplishments and all you have achieved towards your goals as healthcare professionals. I take this opportunity to offer heartfelt congratulations to you.
This evening, we have taken a journey to learn all about the mission of UTHSC and the 6 academic colleges that comprise the university. We now have the joy of welcoming the new Chancellor of UTHSC, Dr. Peter Buckley, who serves as the Chief Executive Officer of this incredible statewide institution.
Hello, Peter Buckley is my name, and I've the privilege of serving as the new Chancellor of University of Tennessee Health Science Center, and I'm particularly pleased to have the privilege today to be involved in the Black Student Association Ceremony Award. I can tell you that as somebody just new here who's gone through the interview process, it was very meaningful to me that there was a Black Student Association representative on the review group that selected the Chancellor for our organization. And so that told me that diversity is front and center at this institution. It's particularly important for any health science center because we know that the quality of care to individuals is maximized when there is a good match demographically, ethically, across the patient and the provider. And this is a shortcoming in healthcare nationally, and one that we are going to double up in our efforts at this institution to improve the representation in our field in all clinical areas and across the great state of Tennessee. And so with that, I think you will see what the future holds with these 7 bright, talented, and highly engaged individuals. I congratulate each and every one of them. And again, I'm grateful to BSA for the opportunity to be here to celebrate with you today. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Well, while we could not all be together for this year's BSA Award ceremony, this has been such an enjoyable night, and I continue to be inspired by the talented students and incredible work being done by UTHSC. I want to congratulate the Black Student Association on its 30th anniversary and thank all of you for tuning in tonight for your support of the organization and our future healthcare professionals. I am grateful for the opportunity to be a part of such a special occasion, and again, congratulations to all the honorees. To close us out, I'm happy to welcome Dr. Dustin Fulton, Assistant Dean in the College of Medicine and advisor of the Black Student Association.
Thank you so much, Ariana, for guiding us through the celebration and your continued support of UTHSC. I'm Dr. Fulton, and it is indeed an honor to support the Black Student Association as the advisor. This annual event celebrating the accomplishments of African American students here at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center continues to be one of my favorites. As 2022 marks the organization's 30th anniversary, I could not be more proud of the work of the BSA, an interdisciplinary organization committed to ensuring the success of African American students across all 6 colleges here at UTHSC. This evening, you got a chance to see just how amazing our students are through their own stories. These honorees have not only excelled in the classroom, labs, and clinical settings as students, but also within their communities to encourage the future generations to pursue careers in the health professions. I look forward to hearing about all that they will accomplish as professionals for years to come. Congratulations to all of the 2022 honorees and to the Black Student Association for your contributions both here on campus and in the Memphis community over the past 30 years. Now, I'd like to welcome Alexandria Dixon, the president of the Black Student Association and one of tonight's honorees, to share some final remarks.
Good evening. I am Alexandria Dixon. I am a fourth-year dental student, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the president of the Black Student Association here at UTHSC for the 2021-2022 school year. I am excited and honored to be recognized among this group of brilliant and extraordinary students. We have all persevered and continue to strive for greatness in our respective professional programs. I would like to thank the Black Student Association for being an outlet for us to fellowship and decompress from the daily stresses of professional school. I want to thank the leadership of the BSA and all members who volunteered their time to make this occasion special. This evening would not have been possible without the support of our campus administration, including our Chancellor, Dr. Buckley, and college deans, Dr. Reagan, who leads the College of Dentistry, Dr. Thomason from Graduate Health Sciences, Dr. Alway of the College of Health Professions, Dr. Strom, Executive Dean of the College of Medicine, Dr. Likes from Nursing, and Dr. Chisholm Burns of the College of Pharmacy. A special thank you to our BSA advisor, Dr. Dustin Fulton, for the endless support that he has shown to students here at UTHSC. This event would not be possible without all of his time, hard work, and dedication to this organization. We'd also like to thank the Office of the Executive Vice Chancellor and Dr. Kennard Brown, Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Operations Officer, for sponsoring the 30th Annual BSA Awards ceremony. Last but certainly not least, a special thanks to Dr. Neil Beckford for joining us tonight and celebrating the BSA's 30th anniversary and all honorees. To you, our virtual audience, thank you for tuning in and thank you for your support of the BSA.